This episode of The Busy Signal is all about the sweet stuff. Soda, pop, soft drinks, whatever you want to call it. It's a massive business with countless varieties to choose from. Some sodas have even been around for over a century, while one soda claims to have been around for over 2 centuries. I'm not fact-checking that. Help yourself. What is factual is to say that most people love soda. We all have our favorites because there's a soda literally for every taste. But sometimes our favorite sodas are not everybody else's favorite sodas. Even to the point where our favorite soda sometimes gets discontinued. But then what? What happens when your favorite soda suddenly is gone from the shelves? Well, typically we complain about it and then we move on to another favorite soda. But we do like to reminisce about our favorites from back in the day, and that is what this episode is all about. Remembering our favorite sodas from back in the day. The ones that never should have been discontinued, and the ones that are like the weird ones, like, yeah, I can kind of see why that one didn't stick around. And then the ones that probably never should have been made to begin with, those are the ones we're going to remember today. I'm going to avoid, at least for this first installment of sodas, the big ones like the new Cokes and the Crystal Pepsis. Those have been talked about for the last 30 years, pretty much to death. I don't know how much I can add to that, really. I had them, I remember them, they're gone. But we may end up covering them later in another installment, like I just said, because clearly part 2 and maybe part 3 is going to be inevitable. So here we go. Let's crack open some old school sodas. 7-Up. Who doesn't love 7-Up? Not the game that you used to play in school where you'd put your head down and your thumb up, 7-Up. No, the drink, 7-Up, with the cool spot. 7-Up, that clear, caffeine-free lemon lime soda, the one that's not Sprite. Well, 7-Up isn't discontinued, sure, but they did release a variant in 1988, 7-Up Gold. Seven-Up Gold was a spiced cinnamon ginger soda. It was brown in color as opposed to the traditional 7-Up we all knew and still know and love as the clear soda. So right then and there, it was a little jarring to see 7-Up be anything other than crystal clear. 7-Up Gold also had caffeine, where regular 7-Up was always uncaffeinated. That was its slogan. It was the Uncola. It was uncaffeinated. 7-Up's slogan at the time even went so far as to say, not just the Uncola, but the slogan at the time in the 80s was, never had it, never will. And that was the caffeine they're talking about. So now they've gone and released this thing in 1988, this brown-colored, spiced with cinnamon and ginger, has caffeine soda. This was a complete stark contrast to everything that they had been up until that point. And of course, there was a diet version released alongside of it. Research tells me that this 7-Up Gold recipe, this cinnamon and ginger, this was an unused recipe from Dr. Pepper. This was a Dr. Pepper creation, and 7-Up bought it, and they used it for themselves. This soda did not do well. If you blinked in 1988, you completely missed the fact that it was even a thing. I might be talking about this, and you're looking it up right now going, what is this, 7-Up Gold? I don't remember that. I was around in 1988. Well, yeah, you blinked and you missed it. It did so badly that I don't even think it made it outside of 1988. If it made it into 89, not for very long. If you're thinking 7-Up was crazy for this idea of cinnamon and ginger warming spice flavor for a soda, well, they're really not. Ginger beer's been around forever, and it's kind of, that ginger spicy, it's almost even hot sometimes. So people love that stuff. People love spicy. For some reason, they just didn't dig 7-Up Gold. But that didn't mean there's not a market for it, so says Pepsi. November 1st, 2004, Pepsi gave us another spiced soda. They gave it a shot with a limited edition holiday spice soda. If a spiced cola was ever to succeed, I would think that it would have been from Pepsi. It just seems like up their alley. I would have thought it would have been this one, would have been the one to make it through. Because not only is it spiced, but it technically has a reason to be spiced. The reason was the season. Holiday Spiced Pepsi.
New Pepsi Holiday Spice is now on its way. Let's back her up, boys.
A blend of cola and spice. It'll be here just for the holidays.
Oh, the other way.
If it gets here at all.
Holidays are when you want those warm, fuzzy feelings anyway, so, Pepsi was just trying to help that along. The holiday spice soda ran for 8 weeks, from November 1st, 2004 until December 31st, 2004, the whole holiday season. It didn't come back in 2005, but it did return for the 2006 holiday season. And then it never returned. It's gone. So clearly it didn't do that well. Maybe one day we'll see it again, but maybe not. Unlike Pepsi's holiday spice soda, which seems to have been discontinued permanently, we're going to talk about a soda from Sprite. Launched in 2002, Sprite Remix. In the late 90s to early 2000s, remixing was trendy. Every pop song had a remix. It had sometimes 2 and 3 versions, a club remix, a this remix. So this Sprite Remix, this soda calling itself a remix, seems to kind of be piggybacking on that trend. And also, unlike 7-Up, when they had their 7-Up Gold variant, Sprite Remix remained colorless. And also still caffeine-free. So it wasn't as jarring for people. There were 3 remix flavors: Tropical, Berry Clear, and Aruba Jam. I personally have been off the sweet stuff for 20 plus years now. 2003, I gave up soda. However, I will come back every once in a while, and I will most certainly come out of soda retirement if Surge returns again. But 2003 was the last year where I was an actual soda drinker, and I did like the Sprite Remix. But for some reason, as we get older, our brains get a little cloudy. I don't remember Sprite Remix being 3 flavors. I just thought it was just Sprite Remix. So I don't remember which flavor I had, honestly. But I remember liking it, so there's that. And while I liked it, apparently it wasn't good enough for a lot of people because it was then discontinued in 2005. But the remix has been brought back. Not just once, but a few times actually. Remix was released again in 2015. And then Tropical Mix in 2016. Mix by Sprite, Tropical Berry, was released in 2018 as a McDonald's exclusive. And Tropical Mix was released in 2019 with a completely redesigned label. Remix just keeps coming back. It just keeps remixing itself, rebranding itself. So if you missed it, it's probably only a matter of time before it remixes itself back into our shelves. While Sprite keeps it caffeine-free, there's a class of sodas that pride themselves in providing a mass amount of legal stimulant. Energy drinks. In 1995, the term energy drink wasn't really even a thing yet. These days, we're bombarded with endless varieties of energy drinks. Bringing it back to Pepsi, in 1995, Pepsi essentially created the energy drink market. They released the first mass-marketed energy drink, Josta. And this was made with a brand new ingredient at the time. It was not used in sodas, guarana. It gave the drink a really sweet and fruity taste, but also loads of energy. It's in everything now as far as energy drinks go. You don't find an energy drink without guarana. The thing is, though, Josta wasn't long for this world. It was discontinued by 1999. And I can't even find a reason exactly why Pepsi pulled Josta, but the only thing I can think of is maybe the immediate flood of new energy drinks that may have contributed to a crowded market possibly. And even though Josta's been gone since 1999, there's campaigns, there's websites dedicated to encourage Pepsi to bring the OG energy drink back. As of this podcast, there's been no success, though. Do you remember the Josta slogan? Better do the good stuff now. Meaning, life's short, pretty much. Drink some Josta, get all hopped up on energy, and skydive.
So, you want to talk to me?
Sit down. When I was your age, there was this group of guys. Crazy bunch they were. They were always trying to get me to stay out all hours, chase women, party till dawn. But I didn't. And you know what?
You wish you had.
Every day of my life.
Coulda. Woulda.
Shoulda. Josta. We better do the good stuff now.
And if we're going to talk about Josta, obviously Jolt has to be in this conversation as well. I called Josta the OG of energy drinks, and I completely stand by that considering the guarana. But I could also hear an argument for Jolt being the OG of energy drinks. I mean, their slogan was all the sugar twice the caffeine. Pure energy. That's what that slogan says to me. All the sugar, twice the caffeine. Woohoo! It also predates Josta by a whole decade. This was released in 1985. Essentially, it was just supercharged cola. And eventually, Jolt did enter the actual energy drink market in 2006. It was rebranded completely as Jolt Energy. And unlike Josta, or insert any name of any current energy drink, Jolt was its own company. Not part of any larger company like a Coke or a Pepsi. The Jolt company was its own. However, it changed hands a few times over the years and ultimately shuttered in 2019. And kudos to anybody who remembers Jolt gum, the caffeine gum. I just thought that was cool. I don't think I even knew that they had a Jolt gum, but I saw that and I was like, wow, that's weird. I think it was like caffeine gum. So anybody who remembers that, does anybody still have a stick of that around? Is it any good? In early 1996, Pepsi tested a coffee-flavored Pepsi variant on the East Coast. Being from the East Coast myself, I actually do remember this, and I did try it. It was fine. It was Pepsi and had coffee flavor. It seems as though maybe my indifference was kind of shared by everybody else here out on the right coast. It didn't do well. It didn't even make it out of the test market on the East Coast here. It never made it national. Pepsi even launched a full marketing campaign in Philadelphia and New York, and it had a big commercial featuring Tom Jones.
So what'll it be today, Bob? Coffee? Pepsi?
Surprise me.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
Hey, this is a surprise.
Introducing Coffee Cola. It's Pepsi, it's coffee. It's new Pepsi Kona.
Anything else? Did you do something with your hair?
New Pepsi Kona. Surprise.
And there was supposedly a Pepsi Kona Hummer that was going to travel the East Coast and hand out, I don't know if it was Pepsi gear or Pepsi swag, Kona swag, or samples of Pepsi Kona, but that was supposed to be a thing. However, reports were that it kind of was like rarely spotted, like nobody saw this thing. I mean, it was sparse. I don't even ever remember seeing it myself, and I don't even think I ever heard rumors that it was nearby. So that may have been botched a little bit. Also, there's the lackluster sophomoric attempts at a clever slogan. There were two. They were Spank Your Senses and Grab Life by the Konas. That was lame, even for the 1990s. Come on, Pepsi. By 1997, Pepsi saw the writing on the wall and discontinued Pepsi Kona. It never even made it nationally. I did know one guy who absolutely loved Pepsi Kona. He loved the stuff. His heart was broken when he heard it was going to go away, so he loaded up on as much as he could before it disappeared forever. I don't know how much he was able to get and how far that took him, but I just thought it was funny that there was just one guy that loved Pepsi Kona that much, and I saw it live, and it was just really fun because I probably would have done the same thing. If I had known Surge was going to go away, I would have stocked up. So good on him. But Pepsi Kona is not coming back. That's clear. You want to talk about sodas that are absolutely not coming back? They are not getting a second chance. Check this one. Did you know that in 1995, Lifesavers, you know, the candy that comes in the little paper rolls, did you know that they released a variety of sodas? Orange, fruit punch, pineapple, and so on. Apparently, it did well in testing, unlike Pepsi Kona. It did well, but failed spectacularly after it was released. People avoided it. Like, I don't know, I guess they thought that it would be too sweet, like it would kind of be like drinking a glass of liquid Lifesavers. Honestly, I'm with them. That's what I envision. Just cloyingly sweet. I don't know. I never tried it. It didn't look appealing to me back then when I was a teenager in 1995. But I remember that they had so much confidence in it that it wasn't just released in cans. It was released in 2-liter bottles. I gotta say that the branding was on point, though. You know, it looked like a giant roll of Lifesavers candy. And that's probably one of the reasons people avoided it, because it just looked too much like the candy. Like I said, this was a very short-lived product, and it doesn't appear that anybody misses it. There's no websites, there's no campaigns, there's no change.org. Nobody's asking for Lifesavers soda to come back. On the flip side, a soda that plenty of people probably do miss or also want to come back is a novelty soda, much like most of the sodas we've talked about today, but it's also a novelty soda, and it's kind of iconic. Hubba Bubba Soda. That's just really fun to say, by the way. Hubba Bubba Soda. Hubba Bubba Soda. I can't even say that. Say it 3 times fast. Go. I love bubblegum. Even as an early 40s adult, I love bubblegum. I still chew bubblegum. I love that bubblegum flavor. And in 1988, Hubba Bubba was betting on people's love for bubblegum flavor as well. So much so that they put it in a soda.
Hubba Bubba me, Hubba Bubba you, Hubba Bubba bubblegum soda is new.
Hubba Bubba is so cool.
Bubblegum soda, Hubba Bubba bubblegum soda. They got the bubbles, they got the smiles, they got the taste that's gonna drive you wild. Hubba Bubba, bubblegum soda, love that Hubba Bubba bubblegum soda.
The can alone, let's just talk about the can because the can was really cool. It was bubblegum pink and it had bubblegum bubbles all over it, right? And it had the big bubbly Hubba Bubba logo on it. It was awesome. It just screams 1980s awesomeness. It was just rad. Hubba Bubba Soda. But while people certainly miss it today, I see plenty of people online, with their Hubba Bubba cans from back in the day. They love it. They'll talk about how much they loved it and how much they missed it, but they say that now. But it certainly wasn't accepted really back in the day. And nobody seems to know when it left production or why it left production. It just vanished. It wasn't around very long. Honestly, I couldn't even pinpoint the length of time that it was available. It was literally from 1 to 5 years. So it could have made it into the early 90s or it could not have survived the 80s. I'm not quite sure. One thing is for sure, though. It definitely lasted longer than Pepsi Kona and Lifesaver Soda. And honestly, as much as I love bubblegum, and this might be a hot take here, I don't think bubblegum soda sounds refreshing or good at all, by the way. There, I said it. It kind of sounds like it would taste like a dental hygiene product for kids. Like the children's mouthwash that's bubblegum flavored or that tray of bubblegum flavored fluoride goo that the dentist sticks in your mouth and you got to sit there for a half hour and try not to choke on it. That's kind of like what Hubba Bubba Soda sounds like to me, that flavor. That super fake syrupy flavor, that's what that sounds like. And then as I'm looking it up, I find the recipe is said to have pretty much been bubblegum flavored syrup for snow cones. That's what was used in order to make the soda. That's cool, but I'd much rather just have, the gum. Give me the gum. I want to chew my bubblegum. I'll take some names while I'm at it. So far, this episode has featured some giants in novelty sodas, but there is one company that I can with 100% confidence call the GOAT as far as novelty sodas go. They are kings of mind and taste-bending soda flavors. Jones Soda. In 2003, Jones Soda released Turkey and Gravy Soda. I'm going to say it again. Turkey and Gravy Soda. It sold out within hours online. I never even saw it on store shelves. I heard the legend of a turkey and gravy soda, but I never saw it. It was so popular that in 2004, they didn't just bring it back. They brought back a whole Thanksgiving dinner pack. A whole set of Thanksgiving-themed sodas. They brought back turkey and gravy and introduced 4 more Thanksgiving-themed sodas. Green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes and butter, and fruitcake. The pack was so insanely popular that I never got a hold of it, period. I never saw it on the shelves. It was just so popular. And Jones later released equally absurd flavors for other holidays, some of which I did try, but I'm going to save those for a future episode down the line. Now, because I couldn't personally try these Thanksgiving sodas, I did what anybody would do, and I turned to YouTube to see people drinking it and giving their reviews of the sodas. And some of these videos were almost completely unwatchable. It seems that as fun as these sodas sound, it also seems really hard for people to keep them down. Gross. Yet, people still clamor for them. It's like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, we're all going to be together. Let's play a game. Let's see who can actually choke down a whole bottle of green bean casserole. First person that gets sick loses. While online, I saw these sodas referred to as the sodas no one likes, but everyone wants to try. That's perfect. That's exactly what they are. But then after 2009, they seem to have disappeared completely for the whole of 2010s. They didn't make a single reappearance until 2021 to celebrate the company's 25th anniversary. So I'm sure they'll come back again one day when Jones is feeling punchy. And there we have it. Another episode in the can. So how many of these sodas did you try back in the day? Were there any that you didn't even know existed? Are you one of the nostalgic soda bottle or can collectors out there? Do you have a Hubba Bubba can or a 7-Up Gold bottle? I'd love to see that. Share a picture on Insta and tag Busy Signal Cast. I gave up soda personally in 2003, but after this episode, I'm not gonna lie, if Surge was still around, I'd be going out and getting one right now. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna be doing more installments of these soda episodes, so, feel free to hit me up on Instagram and let me know what kind of sodas you'd like to see featured on the next episode. You can get me at Busy Signal Cast on Insta or even busysignalcast@gmail.com. Hey, cheers everybody. Once again, I just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, you can listen to The Busy Signal everywhere quality podcasts are streamed. Hit the subscribe button to have a new episode delivered directly to your favorite device every other Friday. And if you really enjoy the show, leave a positive review. I don't know what that does, but would this be a real podcast if I didn't ask for that? You can also head over to Instagram and follow the show at Busy Signal Cast for even more retrostalgic content. I share a good amount of stuff that isn't mentioned on the episodes. And while you're there, say hi in the comments. And until next time, remember, reach out and touch the past.